What's happening, everybody? I'm Simo Malone, your radio feel-good man, a trusted and respected voice in radio, as well as TV for what we do here out of Studio 236. I just got off the radio not long ago with my dear friend, Wayne Anthony. We did a tribute going down memory lane as we still celebrating the life and the legacy of Reverend Walter Stewart. He passed away a couple of weeks ago. We both were at the homegoing. We had words. And I wanted to do a special tribute in honor of him. And we did that on radio, and you'll get a chance to hear that rebroadcast. But here I wanted to bring him on the video live here out of Studio 236 to talk about some of those old days and just reminisce on Minister Walter Stewart, who certainly deposited something very special into our lives. And this is why we continue to carry on the gospel the way I do on radio, and what he's doing as well. So Wayne Anthony, you know that's a designer's name, Wayne Anthony.
That's it.
Welcome, brother.
It's good to be here, man. I love you as well.
We go back 20-something years ago.
Absolutely.
20-something.
About 1984, 1985.
I can't even keep up with the mathematics, folks.
Yeah.
but we've known each other for quite some time. And even in the times that we were not communicating because of work and things of that nature, sometimes death brings people back together again. And we came back together again during the time that Walter Stewart had passed away. Wayne, let's reflect. First of all, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your talent and skill with us. People have to understand that we met each other back in the 80s at WTMR 800 AM.
Yeah.
I was just in 11th grade.
Absolutely.
What am I now? I was in 11th grade, and you were in college.
Yes.
In your 20s.
Yep, sophomore.
And you were working close by Walter Stewart's side.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about your time of meeting me at WTMR and us working with the legendary King of Gospel, Walter Stewart.
Absolutely. He had us in the studio. WTMR was and still is an amazing studio, right in the heart of Camden on Mount Ephraim Avenue.
That's correct. 118 or 116, somewhere about that.
Right.
I used to walk that from the bridge, man.
Yes.
From the catching the train. Yeah.
Iconic.
Yeah.
We were doing radio. We were doing television at the same time, and I was a sophomore in school, so. The tutelage he gave me, that he gave us, I was using that. It actually determined what I was going to do in school.
Yeah.
That became internship credits for me.
Wow.
Yeah. It everything worked out with that. It was well placed. It was a great investment in my time. Yeah. But what he saw in us was amazing.
Did you always want to get into radio? I mean, from you being around Walter Stewart, the King of Gospel?
I wanted to learn. I'm going to tell you, I wanted to learn as much about it as possible. It intrigued me. I watched him literally build the show.
Yes.
And then it would go on the air. But when you listen to it, and then you see the effects of what he was doing. So he's playing an artist. He's pumping or an event, and then you go to the event and you see thousands of people there.
That's right.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be a part of that? Yeah. And so that intrigued me to at least want to know more about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What did you love most about working with Walter Stewart? You travel with him, unlike I didn't travel with Walter. I was at some events, because I was filling in while they were traveling.
Yes. I think one of the most iconic times we were together was at the Tinley Temple Church down in South Philadelphia. That's the first time I saw Lauren Harris.
Oh, wow.
Tremaine was on the program. Shirley Caesar, Pastor Shirley Caesar. It was amazing. And then the behind the scenes stuff that I saw was bananas.
Wow.
Some of that stuff will go to my grave. But it was the way they did business. Yeah. And you saw what happened. But again, to see that, to travel with them, we traveled across the country together. I remember one time we were at the Gospel Music Workshop of America, and I just turned my head and I looked around. He was going. I was like, "Where is he at?" I look up. Reverend Cleveland is announcing him, and he's there to announce the choirs.
Wow.
Yeah, he had that much clout. Yeah. They highly respected him.
Yeah.
in that organization and across the country as we went. Yeah.
So I know, our days at WTMR, and then he did other work at other stations, but let's talk about the experience of being on Channel 6.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize, and you shared this on the radio, that he was on Channel 6 for so long.
26 years.
And that was one of the first gospel programs on TV.
Before Bobby Jones, before Kirk Franklin, before Ty Tribbett, before all that you saw on television, there was a gospel edition of Dialogue with Walter Stewart. Yes.
And that show was about local artists that he was having to come on to sing.
He was adamant about that. Like, because I'm out of the box. Like, I'm like, well, you got James Hall. He said, no. He said, this show is to showcase local artists in the tri-state area.
And some of those groups that were on there were like what, the Savettes?
Yes.
The Victory Choral Ensemble.
First Church of Love, Faith, and Deliverance.
Was Philly Mass on there?
Philly Mass was on there quite often.
Okay.
Philly Youth Mass, Joy Unlimited.
Oh, wow. That's right.
That was our biggest show.
And I think I still have some of their songs in there. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
you remember the group Rapture?
Rapture was on there quite a few times. Absolutely.
Wow.
But with that,
yes.
you had local churches that he would feature on there.
Yeah.
The church at Broad, I can't think of the name, Broad and Cumberland, United Evangelistic Church with Reverend Charles Williams.
Yeah, the late Charles Williams.
The Fellowship Tabernacle Church with the late
Bishop Taylor. My goodness.
There were so many that he would feature on there, and then local artists.
Yeah.
Would come on. Many of them, he would take on these what I call mini concerts throughout the city.
Yeah.
Where he helped local churches.
Right. And our dear friend we're talking about, and our dear mentor and brother, Minister Walter Stewart, he came from the ministry of Rosie Wallace Brown.
Yes.
Pastor Rosie Wallace Brown, First Church of Love, Faith, and Deliverance. Talk a little bit about his experiences that you know of, you being around him with Rosie Wallace Brown.
That was an incredible experience, personally for me.
Yeah.
To meet the iconic Pastor Rosie Wallace was like, that was a dream come true for me.
Yes.
And then I got on the choir, I started singing the music. And we were still doing the television show. He was doing WTMR and then URD.
Right.
And then TMR. But one of the great things that I experienced with him there, I got to serve with him in ministry there. And then he taught me how to be a minister.
Wow.
So that was the next level for me. It was like he taught me stage presence, church presence, which is different than being in front of the camera.
That's important. That's important.
And so all of that, coupled with being a part of that ministry, was a great part of my life. And I'll always be appreciative for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, where do you fellowship at, and what you involved in ministry-wise?
So the pandemic did a great thing and did a bad thing. I'm currently serving at a couple of places.
Okay.
One is my cousin is pastor there. The Church of the Redeemer Baptist.
Okay.
I love that place.
Church of the Redeemer Baptist.
Absolutely.
Okay. We say hello to that pastor.
Yes. Pastor David Smith. And then I also am involved with and very close to Empowering Word Ministries with Pastor John Clayton, which is right out in West Philadelphia at 60th and Vine.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, sitting here talking to Wayne Anthony, of course, with Wayne Anthony, his branding name, and we both grew up listening to Walter, working with Walter Stewart in gospel music. Gospel music has changed so much over the years. We have many radio personalities locally and nationally that are very familiar with Walter Stewart. But for us two, we worked close by his side, and it was just an honor and a privilege. Me being a youngster in radio, now celebrating 33 years in broadcasting, because of Walter Stewart, we're carrying the legacy. If you do not know who this person is and you just happen to just be watching this video, you need to definitely listen to our show that will be airing for 4 days next week. And of course, by the time you're looking at this video, if it did not air, it'll be broadcast again. We want you to become familiar with some of the music that Walter Stewart played, spirit-filled gospel music, and he knew his audience. And it's so important that We keep the tradition of gospel music, and we both are going to continue to carry out the legacy. A couple of more questions is, how are you going to continue on your journey and your path from what Walter taught you? I know what he shared with me because we both have the same degrees.
Yes, we do.
We both went to very good institutions. I went to Shaw and you went to
Clarendon University of Pennsylvania.
He has a degree in mass communications, and so do I.
Yeah.
So did not Walter influence us?
He did.
We wouldn't be doing what we're doing
No.
in that major.
No.
And I mean, I've been working in that field ever since.
Yeah, I'm a little different in that I'm in the training industry.
But you still have the radio still
I
part.
still,
Yeah.
and we incorporate that
Exactly.
in the training that we
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So how are you going to continue to carry out what he taught you in the legacy of Walter Stewart?
Very interesting question. I'm involved with a group in the Philadelphia area called Philly Remembers,
I like that.
Inc. And it's headed by Reverend Freddie Bowers. And it's to preserve the legacy of gospel in Philadelphia. We have a benefit program going on tomorrow night at the Triumph Baptist Church in Philadelphia. Not tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon.
Right, I got you. No worries.
And we're going to feature music from what is considered the Big Five in Philadelphia. The Victory Call Ensemble, the Savettes, the First Church of Love, Faith, and Deliverance, the Douglas Fulton Ensemble, and the Brockington Ensemble. I got them all.
The Big Five.
The Big Five.
I like that.
And it's really to bring awareness to that. There's a bigger project and a documentary that's going to come out that'll be carried by major stations.
Sounds
I'm not
good.
going to give it all away.
Sounds good. What's your final word? And go ahead and give some shout outs because I know you're quite loved. Go ahead.
Listen, we still play in 2023 the best music
That's right.
this side of heaven. Listen to Simone Malone on FM. Give
HDMS.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
You
Yes.
are playing the real music with real harmony and real grooves.
That's right.
And celebrating gospel.
That's right.
But no, keep your head up. And stay in tune. The music that makes you feel good.
That's right.
It's gospel music.
Sounds good. Thank you all for joining us right here. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Trusted Voice in Radio, and make sure you tell your family and friends to listen in. The link will scroll there across the screen, mobile.hdms.net, and it's going to be more of Wayne and myself as we preserve the tradition of gospel music. And we thank all of our other radio colleagues that are making a difference out there.
Absolutely.
In radio, absolutely. We appreciate all of you. God has given each of us something special, and we carry that special love that Walter Stewart has endowed upon us to continue to play spirit-filled gospel music across the airwaves. Nothing like real gospel with real harmony and real grooves. Thank you, Wayne, so much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to talking to you real soon. Take care, everybody. Loads of love and many blessings, and welcome to the new season of your life. It is fall. Let's wave at everybody.